What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. For those of you new to the channel, my name is Vince Warburton and this is VW Fitness. Today we're talking about Alpha Lion Superhuman Burn. Let's get to it. All right, so for those of you that are new to the channel, I do videos every single week. If that is something you're interested in, make sure you hit that subscribe and bell, guys. We got a lot of content coming. I know it was a little bit delayed. I am based out of Austin, Texas, and I'm sure, as most of you may or may not know, last week was kind of a crazy week in terms of the weather, kind of shut down the entire city, and luckily we are kind of out of that and we're moving forward. But I digress. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back. I know I have not done a pre-workout review in a long time, and this one's honestly a little bit different. Now, I kind of talked about this in the Supplement Summit, and I will touch on it very, very briefly here before we get started into this review, but I'm really not pushing the limits with a lot of pre-workouts anymore. Due to my blood work that came back last year, my liver enzymes were a little elevated because of all the different stuff that I was taking. And I think that's very important to talk about, to kind of touch on and make sure I kind of bring it to light. To make sure you get your blood work done, always consult with a physician before you guys start taking, certain supplements, especially when you're a little younger and older. It doesn't really matter. You should really be checking with a doctor before you start taking a lot of different things. Now, fortunately, I just had my blood work done again. I am completely normal. I am right at like a 25. The range is anywhere from, I believe, like 8 to 50, and I'm like right in the middle. Now, the previous blood test was at 50, and the one before that kind of was elevated, was at 55. So I've really brought things back down, and that's due to not taking a lot of pre-workout, not taking a lot of multivitamins, not taking fat burners, not stacking a bunch of products together, especially some of the heavy hitters. So this is a definite go-to pre-workout. Now, I've talked about Superhuman Supreme pre-workout. You guys can hit the card up here and learn more about that. Now, this is their burn edition. This is kind of like the fat burning pre-workout, if you will. Haven't seen too many of these sort of products because it's kind of a niche product, and honestly, I feel like more than likely we're all just kind of looking for a good pre-workout, but some of us are looking for that really good like fat burner / pre-workout, because obviously stacking like a pre-workout and a fat burner, more than likely you're just going to be taking way too much caffeine. So this is kind of one of those products that I can see fitting into a lot of people's daily supplement regimen. So let's jump into this, guys. If you're new to the channel, I break down a supplement review like this into 4 different parts. We're gonna talk about number 1, price; 2, the label ingredient breakdown; thirdly, we'll talk about the taste; and then lastly, we'll talk about the effects of the pre-workout. Now, I've actually already ran this pre-workout for 4 days straight, doing various different workouts. That'll be something different we'll talk about in the effects. But let's jump right into the price point, guys. Right off of Alpha Lion's website, comes in at $59.99 for 25 full servings. That breaks out to about $2.40 per serving per scoop. Now, on the consistent pricing scale, guys, that is gonna come in at a 1 out of 10. It's a pretty expensive pre-workout, all things considered. Now, you could take half a scoop, or you could take 1 scoop, if you will. This is based on 2 scoops, which is the maximum dose, and that's what we always talk about here on the channel. So 1 out of 10. Price is always very subjective, guys. If you guys love the pre-workout, you're more than likely gonna pay for the pre-workout. If the ingredients are really high quality, you're gonna probably pay for it. It's all checks and balances, if you will. So let's move into the label ingredient breakdown, guys. We'll pop that up here on the screen now. And like I said, 2 scoops is 17 grams. So kind of a bigger amount of actives here. I like to see between 15 and 20 is kind of my go-to. So let's go through this label panel, guys. Start out with 4 grams of L-citrulline, pure, straight up. I love that. I like to see at least 4 to 6 grams. Now, citrulline is one of my favorite ingredients. So I think it's just one of those things that's pretty important. So 4 to 6 grams is what I like to see. 4 grams here, solid amount. Next up, 3.6 grams of beta-alanine. Efficacious dose is gonna be 3.2, somewhere in that range. So I like seeing that they're putting a little bit more to really saturate the body. Now, this is the itchy, tingly ingredient, if you will. So if you guys do not like those tingles, probably stay away from the beta-alanine here, right? 1 gram of taurine, again, gonna help with the performance in everyday workouts. You see taurine in a lot of pre-workouts and a lot of energy drinks. All right, so here's where our energy is coming from. 225 milligrams of caffeine anhydrous. I prefer at least 200 to 300, kind of in that range. Now, they also put in some L-theanine at 225 milligrams, so it is a 1-to-1 ratio. Interesting. I'll touch more on that here in a second. We'll finish up with this last ingredient. We have 100 milligrams of the Infinergy dicaffeine malate, so that's gonna give us another 75 milligrams of an extended release caffeine. So in total, we're gonna get 300 milligrams. So technically, it's not necessarily a 1-to-1 ratio. I don't like to see it this high. I don't like to see a 1-to-1 ratio. I feel like theanine, for some people and for myself, depending on how much supplementation, what my diet looks like, etc., can really bring down a lot of the stimulants. Now in this pre-workout itself, there's not a lot of stims. This is not a big stim heavy hitter, but I do think that they probably could have done, 100 milligrams in the L-theanine, in my personal opinion, and still given us that kind of nice rounded edge of energy. And like I said, you're getting 75 milligrams of dicaffeine malate essentially. That's gonna really curb that caffeine. So overall, I'm happy with the Energy Matrix. Again, we'll talk about it more in the effects section moving forward. All right, this is their fat burn matrix, guys. We have the Mito Burn at 500 milligrams, solid amount. I actually have been taking Mito Burn. I haven't been taking it recently, but I did take it when it first launched. I did see some good results with it. Fat burners are always very, very difficult and very, very subjective, so I'm very cautious in advising that it works. There's no miracle fat drug, guys. I hope you guys all know that. It's gonna take time in the gym. It's gonna take even more work in the kitchen and just making sure that you stay consistent and active throughout the week. So I think that's probably the most important thing, but 500 milligrams, solid amount. 100 milligrams of the cocobutyrol. This is basically a theobromine kind of substitute. This is gonna give us some energy. This is gonna burn some fat. Again, this is giving us a nice little mix of some ingredients that are all targeting kind of more fat burning, which I think we could all probably use. Next up, we have 100 milligrams of the Advantra Z Bitter Orange Extract, 50% synephrine. Now, what you'll also notice, guys, and I'll just touch on the last ingredient real quickly, 40 milligrams of the Calorie Burn GP, Grains of Paradise Seed Extract. All 4 of these ingredients are all trademarked ingredients. Now, we kind of talked about this actually in the Supplement Summit. High quality ingredients, trademarked ingredients, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're better. It just means that they're trademarked, and there obviously a lot of research has gone into the science of the ingredient panel. Now that doesn't necessarily mean that, like, for example, a regular creatine monohydrate and a trademark Creapure, you're gonna see different results, okay? You may and you may not. There's a lot of studies that say like the absorption's better with Creapure. Creatine monohydrate I think works great. In this instance though, with this sort of fat burning matrix, I kind of like that they are choosing to do trademarked ingredients with a lot of research, especially the Mito Burn. That's probably the biggest one here. Now, I never did do their Calorie Burn, Grains of Paradise. They do have that as a Gains candy as well. But I am a fan of the Mito Burn. I think if you run it a long enough time, your diet and your exercise is consistent, you can increase your weight loss and get to those goals that you set. So overall, guys, I'm really happy with this fat burning matrix. There's not like a bunch of stimulants in this. It's not like some crazy, ephedra kind of like you're gonna lose a bunch of weight. You still have to put in a lot of work, and just always kind of keep that in mind. All right, so then last up kind of in this new matrix is we got a focus matrix, 1 gram of choline bitartrate. I wish there was a little bit more. It's gonna help with mental focus, etc. 1 gram of the acetyl L-carnitine. This kind of has multiple benefits. It can help with mental focus as well as some fat burning properties depending on kind of how much is in there and how things are kind of interacting together. So kind of keep that in mind. And then we have 1 gram of L-tyrosine, again, gonna help with that mental focus and kind of pushing through a workout, whatever sort of exercise we're doing. And then last up, we have the absorption matrix at 25 milligrams of estrogen. Talked about estrogen a ton on the channel. And then 5 milligrams of the bioperine black pepper extract. So a lot of trademarked ingredients in here. A lot. Overall, guys, everything is fully disclosed on here. Again, they use a lot of trademarked ingredients, which I think is kind of, it's unique. Again, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a better product, just kind of keep that in mind. But it is kind of unique that they're stacking a lot of different products and trademarked ingredients from manufacturers. So kind of cool there. In terms of the label ingredient breakdown, guys, I think everything on here is fairly well dosed. The theanine really throws me off, so I got to dock it there. And I do wish there was a little bit more in the focus matrix to kind of bring things together, but I get that they couldn't necessarily put more, because then you just start stacking ingredients, and then things just get flushed and it's basically pointless. So with that in mind, guys, I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. I think it's a solid like ingredient panel. Like I said, everything's fully disclosed, a lot of trademarked ingredients, which I think is cool. And yeah, let's move into the taste, guys. Now, this is the Smurf juice here that we have. Recommend 6 to 8 ounces for 2 scoops. Now, again, you can start with 1 scoop. That's kind of what they always recommend. The scooper on this was massive, by the way. I literally cut it because it wouldn't fit back in here after I took it, a couple times. So we're gonna do 2 scoops today. Got that nice blue color there, right? Smurf juice. Give this a nice good shake. And there's our mixability, guys. Not a lot of foaming. Actually, a good amount. I wouldn't say a good amount, but there is some sediment here on the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see that here. It's kind of tough to get it up in the camera with the lighting. But overall mixability, I'd say, is pretty solid. Let's give this a nice, good taste test. Cheers. Ooh, yeah. Okay, so like I said, guys, I have drank this, obviously, so this is not an initial taste test. Very smooth. I would say pretty sweet, so if you're not a really big sweet person, it kind of has that blue raspberry kind of taste, like tropical blue raspberry is what I would say. A little bit of that spice from the grains of paradise and that black pepper extract, you kind of taste that a little bit. It doesn't hinder or really ruin the taste profile for me. Alpha Lion really crushes it with their flavoring. So I didn't expect anything less, to be honest. It is a little sweet, I will give them that. I think overall though, mixability and whatnot, but for me, in terms of a rating, I'm gonna give this a solid 9 out of 10. I think it's almost a 10. I think it tastes phenomenal. I would definitely go back to this flavor. All right, guys, so let's talk about the effects. So I actually ran this as kind of a cardio and a workout, kind of pre-workout. And you guys might be wondering like why I would do that. Well, I've been incorporating a lot more running into my regimen, especially as I'm trying to cut right now. Adding a lot more cardio, and I just love running in general. So I think overall it can work in both settings. So that's why I kind of said earlier that like there's two different ways I'm taking this with cardio, and then I did use it with a workout. Now I didn't notice any excessive sweating. I did get the beta tingles. So if you guys like, again, if you're sensitive to that, maybe shy away from this or maybe do 1 scoop. Beta tingles were solid. The pumps were, I would say, good. They weren't like anything incredible. I think focus was, again, good, but nothing incredible. I think where this shines is that it's gonna give you the boost, that energy that you want, and it's not gonna be overbearing, okay? Some of these other pre-workouts that are out there, you know, you're pushing 300-400 milligrams, 500 milligrams of caffeine, you're gonna be like buzzing pretty hard. And when I'm trying to go on a run, again, I don't think this is necessarily designed for cardio. I think you can use it as a cardio kind of pre-workout, do 1 scoop, right? Stack this with some other products, etc. But I think overall the energy is solid. I think it kind of actually does work in this instance where I wouldn't necessarily, I would say that this is geared more towards those kind of cardio days, or those days where you're doing, you know, functional training, you know, something like an F45. I think this would be a really great pre-workout. I think this works in those times where you're trying to burn a little bit more in terms of extra calories, hence the burn name. So that's just kind of my take, guys. In terms of the effects, I definitely felt it. I think this has its place. I think it's somewhat of a niche product. I think some people should get this and utilize it, especially those people that are doing 2-a-days, trying to shred down. I think this is an incredible product, and you're getting a ton of good fat burning ingredients that I won't say are the magic pill to losing weight, but I do think that they can help you with your weight loss journey. I'm gonna give this a 9 out of 10 in terms of the effects, and that's just because I think it works for what I'm saying. Cardio, functional training, maybe a CrossFit workout where you're not trying to get like a big pump. You're not just trying to like push reps. You're really trying to like work and burn a lot of fat. And I think it's an incredible product, guys. So make sure you go check them out. Hit up their Instagram at Alpha Lion, guys. Again, this product was not sent to me for free. I bought it with my own money. This review is completely unpaid, unbiased, and honest in its entirety. And so I'm really happy to come back. Hope you guys enjoyed that little intro as well. We kind of created a new intro there. Hope you guys enjoyed that. But overall, guys, go ahead and check them out. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment below. I will get back to you guys. Hit me up on Instagram at DVW Fitness. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that thumbs up button, hit the subscribe and bell for notifications. And as always, we'll catch you guys in the next one.